Good morning, everyone. Today we're here with part 3 of the Tyrion Cuthbert Ace Attorney Attorney of the Arcane demo. Man, this took me such a long time to finish. I just totally forgot about it. I was busy with other stuff, but today we are gonna finish it. So let's get into it. At least I think this will be the last part. I'm not entirely sure, but okay. I hope it didn't glitch. And it totally glitched. We will be right back. Okay, I believe I fixed it. That was quite annoying. Yeah. There are still some bugs with the game, but that's understandable. I hope they get polished, because I really like everything else about this game so far. But yeah, I'm still holding the theory that the main character is somehow a mage. I don't know, but maybe he just has magical powers for no reason, but whatever. Okay. You're gonna make me defend the rest of the trial alone? Cuthbert, you need to calm down. How am I supposed to do this without you, Miss Tamora? Do you expect me to hold your hand through every trial? You need to learn how to do this on your own. But there's too much riding on this trial. There's gonna be a lot riding on most of the trials you defend. I know that you're emotionally invested in this client. That's exactly why I need to know that you can do this on your own. Do you really think I'm ready to go at this alone? There's no doubt in my mind. Alright, then I'll trust your judgment. Good. I'll be watching from the gallery. And I can't do female voice as well. Celeste. Sorry, I know what I said before. Don't worry. I also believe in you, Tyrion. Seems like a lot of people have high expectations for me. I won't let them down. Then freaking we have our Benjamin Franklin looking guy. Court is now resumed for the trial of Celeste McCoy. Yesterday, the defense presented some shocking oversights made during the investigation of the crime scene. Yes, I personally saw to it that the crime scene was investigated properly. I certainly hope so. At yesterday's trial, the defense presented an inconsistency between the crime scene photo and the autopsy report. Because of this, they made the following proposition. A third party must have interfered with the crime scene and framed the defendant. However, the individual who discovered the body would like to testify as to what he saw that night. Interesting. It was my understanding that the witness in question wanted to remain anonymous. Apparently, this witness was within the gallery of the trial yesterday. After what he saw, he felt that he couldn't stay silent any longer. We're gonna do this so I don't mess up the reading. I don't like this. Why would he change his mind like that? Very well. Let us hear this witness's testimony. It's the driver guy, right? This guy. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court. My name... No, what is his voice again? My name is Rise Rudolph. I am a carriage driver. It is my understanding that you found the body. Am I correct, Mr. Rudolph? Actually, I witnessed much more than that. I saw the crime as it was being committed. What? That is quite the claim. If it's true, why have you chosen to remain silent until now? We had initially concluded that the evidence itself was decisive. Therefore, we saw no need at the time for eyewitness testimony. However, those circumstances clearly changed after yesterday's proceedings. There's no way the prosecution wouldn't leverage eyewitness testimony from the get-go. Something else is happening here. Very well. Mr. Rudolph, please testify to the court about what you saw that night. That's impossible. It's gonna be the light. Of course. I was transporting a client in my carriage that evening We were driving by the McCoy Tavern when we heard a disturbance. I was worried that something was amiss, so I walked into the establishment to see what the commotion was about. There, I saw the defendant, lit by the blue glow of the dining room lights. She had stabbed Flintheart McCoy with her sword. She slowly pulled her sword from Flintheart's chest, and when he turned around to run away, she stabbed him again from behind. Soon, she realized that I had witnessed her heinous crime. She fled the scene through the back door. That's well, we already know. Incredible! If everything occurred as the witness described, then I see no room for debate. Of course, the evidence is irrefutable. Celeste, have you ever met this man before? No, this is my first time seeing him. And after my argument with my dad, I left the inn through the front door. No one was standing there. I'm surprised we can consult. Wait, why is she even allowed here? Wouldn't she be like somewhere else? Which means that he was definitely lying about seeing Celeste from the entrance. The defense may now begin their cross-examination. I mean, we know what the contradiction is, but I just want to press to see extra dialogue. Who was the passenger in your carriage? Ah, well... Objection! The identity of the passenger is irrelevant. The current witness is the one who actually observed the crime as it occurred. Objection! If there was another person at the scene, they may also have crucial testimony. The passenger is under no obligation to testify before the court. The current witness's account of the events is more than adequate. That's enough. I see no reason for the witness to disclose the identity of their client. Unless the defense can present a more valid reason to do so, they will leave it at that. Damn, that didn't work. But there has to be a reason why Steelwind is so determined to keep the passenger's identity a secret. Well, we know it's a noble, but... I was worried that something was amiss, so I walked into the establishment to see what the commotion was about. Oh, I already read that. You stopped your carriage in the middle of a job? What did your passenger think of this? He had no quarrel with it. What kind of passenger would be okay with being stopped mid-drive? Objection! The passenger's reaction to this course of events is irrelevant. The passenger's reaction to this course of events is irrelevant to the testimony, unless you have hard evidence to prove otherwise. Now then, please tell us what you saw inside, Mr. Rudolph. You were sure that you saw my client and the victim? How were you so sure of their identities? Flintheart and McCoy and his daughter were well known within the town. Flintheart made himself quite known in the region through his social activism, and he made quite a point of bragging about his daughter to anyone who would listen. Do you live in the same town as the McCoys? No, but I visit quite frequently. Objection! The witness's place of residence has no bearing on his testimony. What matters was that he was there when the murder occurred. No comment. Okay. So you're saying my client stabbed him twice with her sword? Yes, that's exactly what I saw, he sweated. But for that to be true, my client would have to have stabbed him through the same wound. After all, there's only one visible wound on the body. Wouldn't it be strange to do something like that? It's possible the sword took the path of least resistance when she stabbed him the second time. That's really far-fetched, but I won't get anywhere unless I can prove that he's lying. And you let her get away? I'm a modest carriage driver. I've no way of combating someone that's armed with a sword. The witness also saw the defendant using magic. Any reasonable person wouldn't attempt to stop an armed mage. There's no way that creep saw me stabbing my father. He's definitely lying, but why? He must have come up with a detailed story before coming to court. but those false details make it all easier for me to find a contradiction. Okay. Objection. So, Mr. Rudolph, you testified that you saw my client at the scene stabbing the victim with her sword. What's more, you claim to have seen her performing magic while doing so. Did you see all of this clearly? Yes. I can never forget such a grisly sight. I see. There is one problem with your testimony, though. Oh, and what is that? Everything you just said is a complete lie. What? Are you accusing the witness of perjury, defense lawyer? You should know better than to make baseless claims like that. My claim is far from baseless, Prosecutor Steelwind. Dang, yeah, let's get her. I mean, both of them. As I'm sure you know, the McCoy Inn relies solely on artificery for its lighting. Every light in that inn receives power from an arcane generator. It's kind of weird that she didn't... I mean, I'm sure she knew what he was going to testify. However, on the night of the murder, that generator wasn't functional. The lights couldn't have possibly been on. Objection. There could have easily been another light source, like a torch or candle. The victim wouldn't have had his argument with the defendant in pitch black darkness. While that may be true, the witness clearly stated that he saw a blue glow from the dining lights. A torch or candle wouldn't emit a distinct glow like that. What? I don't understand. I was sure that I saw a blue glow that night from... guess who? The Noble. Wait, what did he just say? Wait, I think I understand it now. What is it, witness? I must have made the incorrect assumption. Please, allow me to give my testimony once more. If he says something stupid like, maybe the mage has light powers or something. I don't know. What do you think of this? Well, how did I know? That delivery was so bad. What do you think of this, Prosecutor Steelwind? If the witness wants to revise his testimony, then I see no harm in obliging him. Very well. And you, Mr. Cuthbert? If he thinks he saw something different, then let's hear him out. No matter how many revisions he makes, I'll tear through his lies with evidence. It was revealed that Flintheart was killed using magic, yes? I must have seen Flintheart's daughter channeling a magic spell. The spell was called Mageblade, am I correct? That's it, the blue glow that I saw must have been created by Mageblade. I see. So the blue illumination that you saw was produced by the defendant's magic. Mr. Cuthbert, you may continue with your cross-examination. With pleasure. It emits a yellow radiant glow. Nice. Are you changing your testimony based on yesterday's trial, Mr. Rudolph? I assure you, that's not what I'm doing. It's just that the revelations from yesterday helped me to understand exactly what I saw. Now you're saying that you saw my client channeling magic? Wouldn't that be pretty noticeable? The witness is of the common folk. Furthermore, the defendant's magic ability wasn't known to most until the night of the murder. What reason would the witness have to think that he was witnessing magic? Oh, oops. I don't think that is important. The last part is a bit far-fetched, but I can't really refute it right now. Okay, wait, I'll go back and read that. My bad. He would just think that the sword is wreathed by a glow or some other means. You seem uncertain about the spell that you supposedly saw my client use. How can we trust the rest of your testimony? The witness has no knowledge of the arcane arts. It doesn't matter that he was unable to identify the specific spell. The only thing that matters is that he clearly saw some instance of magic. I won't get anywhere unless I can prove that he didn't see Mageblade. You still don't sound so sure of it yourself. I wasn't sure of it myself, but then I discovered that Flintheart was killed using magic yesterday. Is it really so hard to believe that I didn't realize magic was being used in front of me? I suppose not. Not that I believe you. He's just telling lie after lie. He's trying to cover for himself. I'm sure he's just making things up on the spot now. It looks like he barely even knows how magic works. Do you think we could use that somehow? I'm surprised she's allowed to be here with us. Well, okay. It's interesting that we can present spells too in this. It's gonna make it much harder in later chapters. Objection! Mr. Rudolph, you don't know much about magic, do you? No, I know nothing about it at all. Are you still trying to claim that I should have recognized the defendant's spell? No, actually, I acknowledge that you know nothing about the spell, Mageblade. And that is exactly where your mistake was. My mistake? You see, Mr. Rudolph, Mageblade does emit a magical glow. However, that magical glow is yellow, not blue. Objection! So what if the witness was incorrect about the glow's color? That's merely a small detail of his testimony. I find it hard to believe that the witness was unsure about the light's color. You said multiple times that the illumination was colored blue. In fact, it's the only detail that persisted between both versions of his testimony. Oops. I must agree. The witness was quite adamant about seeing a blue light. But what does this mean, Mr. Cuthbert? It's a given that Rudolph lied about seeing Celeste killed Flintheart. But why do you specifically say that he saw a blue-colored light? That seems like a really strange and unnecessary detail to add in. So, Mr. Cuthbert, did the witness see a blue-colored light or not? He saw the blue-colored light. I think he saw it because it was from the noble that killed him, right? Because he had the light spell. I remember that. There's only one answer that makes sense. The witness did see a blue light created by a spell. But we already established that Mageblade doesn't emit a blue-colored light. What are you? I think you already know where I'm going with this, Prosecutor Steelwind. The witness definitely saw a spell that emitted a blue-colored light, and it was created by a spell that's not Mageblade. Well then, which spell was it? Which spell did the witness see, Mr. Cuthbert? I don't know which spell he saw, Your Honor. And frankly, I don't need to. Just take a look at my client's spell compendium. Mageblade is the only spell she can use, and that spell can't emit a blue-colored light. If the witness saw a magical blue light, that can only mean one thing. There was another mage at the scene who magically created that light. Oh, this is good art. Order! Order in the court! So, what did you really see, Mr. Rudolph? Did you see my client at the scene casting a spell that she couldn't possibly cast? Or did you see another mage there? Well... Let me remind you that perjury is a crime, Mr. Rudolph. If you're found to be lying on the stand, you will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. No, wait, please. Now, that is quite enough of that. Oh, it's this guy. I will not stand by while you harass my driver. Who? It's Lord Pierce. What's he doing here? Pierce, we discussed this. There's no need for you to take the stand. Nonsense. I have nothing to hide. If you had done your job properly, I wouldn't need to intervene. What is the meaning of this, Prosecutor Steelwind? Who is this man? This is Garrick Pierce, Your Honor. He is the heir to the Pierce noble house. That is Lord Garrick Pierce to you. In any case, I must apologize. The confusion wrought by today's proceeding has been entirely my fault. What do you mean? You see, this carriage driver wasn't the one who witnessed the crime that fateful night. It was me. I was the one who witnessed that heinous crime. I had my driver report the body so I could remain anonymous. I simply dictated to him what I saw and had him repeat that to law enforcement. It simply wouldn't do for the member of nobility to appear in court after all. Lord Pierce? Regardless of your intentions, this is a very clear act of perjury. I understand, and I will accept the consequences of that. But I would be remiss if Rudolph's shoddy testimony allowed that girl to escape her crime. Please let me testify as to what I saw. Very well. This is quite irregular, but I believe that the court will benefit from hearing your testimony. However, know that this misconduct has severely harmed your credibility. Typo. Very well. I need some water. Oh. Okay, I'm good now. On that fateful night, I found myself unable to sleep, so I went on a leisurely carriage ride around the town to see how the other half lives. I happened to be passing by the McCoy Tavern when I heard a loud commotion from within the building. Curious, I stopped my carriage and took a single step inside the establishment. Then I saw the scene inside. I saw the defendant stabbing that poor man. Garrick Pierce, he's a member of the nobility. That means he's probably a mage, right? And he's the only mage that was there that night. Does that mean? Yeah, I think so. He's the person who killed your father. Are you gonna be okay? Yeah, don't worry about me. Just focus on exposing him. Gladly. Let's get this guy. Cross-examination. The music is much faster now. That's interesting. That seems like a strange way to pass the time. Not that I believe you for a second. The witnesses' eccentricities are besides the point. What matters is that he was clearly at the scene. I wouldn't quite phrase it like that, but nevertheless. I'm guessing this commotion was the argument between my client and the victim? One would conclude that, yes. Reports say that they both became quite loud. The witness could have definitely heard him from his carriage. I guess that story does check out. If he was at the tavern entrance, then that would mean he was here, where the W was. And Linhart's body would be where the V is. You saw the entire scene from the tavern entrance? It would be quite dark considering the lights weren't operational, even if I probably were using Mageblade at the time. Of course, I'd forgotten that detail. The light was quite dim, so I used my magic to illuminate the scene. You used magic at the crime scene? Yes, I conjured a blue light to illuminate the scene. That same blue light must have been what my driver saw. I thought Mr. Rudolph didn't witness the crime. If I had to guess, Rudolph saw the magical light while he was waiting at the carriage. He must have accidentally made that a part of his testimony earlier. That actually makes a lot of sense now that I think about it. Rudolph was so sure that he saw a blue light. It would be strange if he was lying about that. But anyways, which spell did you use? It was the Conjure Light spell. The duration of the spell, a mote of magical light, appears in the caster's hand. The color of the light is chosen by the caster and can be changed at will for the spell's duration. This mote of light provides illumination up to 15% of the 15 feet of the caster, no further. 15 feet. Your Honor, if the witness used magic at the crime scene, then I'd like to formally request that his spell companion be added to the court record. Objection! The prosecution sees no reason to invade the witness's privacy over a trivial illumination spell. I agree. The defense would need a stronger reason to requisition The witness's spell compendium. Right you are, Your Honor. Your wisdom is truly fitting of your station. Oh, shut up. Why is he so determined to keep his compendium out of the court record? If we get access to it, we can see exactly which spells he can use. It will make it a lot easier for us to build a case against him. Regardless, I must request that the witness add this detail to his testimony. Of course. Casting a spell seems like a pretty significant detail to forget. For you, maybe, but for a practiced mage like myself, using magic is as natural as moving my arm. I guess he has a point. I wouldn't know what it's like to be a mage. Oh my god, that makes me think he's a mage even more, dude. I saw the defendant stabbing that poor man, and you hated that guy. And I suppose you're going to say that she stabbed him from opposite sides each time? Yes, I do recall seeing that happen. Yeah, right. This guy is definitely the real murderer, which means there has to be a lie somewhere in his testimony. He keeps saying that he stood at this entrance the entire time. Yeah, like he's trying to place himself away from the murder actually took place. But if he really killed my father, then he would have to have been further in. Right. Is there any way I can prove he was closer to the body? Okay, yeah. Yeah, there's no way. It's not 15 feet long. I think we either present the map. I think we present the map, right? Objection! Your Honor, this piece of evidence proves the witness is nothing but a liar. I fail to see how that piece of evidence proves your claim. Oh, I guess you're right. Please remain from making baseless claims, Mr. Cuthbert. Well, I guess that didn't work. Celeste is just looking at us like she's just confused. Is it his spell then? Objection. You said that you illuminated the entire scene from the tavern entrance. Wait, sorry. That's weird. You didn't take a single step into the building? Of course not. I remember it very clearly. I stood only at the entrance. Witness, I'd like for you to take a look at the map of the tavern. So why couldn't I present the map? What? Okay, whatever. If we take a look at this diagram, that would place you where the W is, correct? I was wondering why they included the 5 square feet, or 5 feet by 5 feet. Of course. That's exactly where I was. What of it? Well, I just find it interesting that you said you illuminated the crime scene from there, considering that conjured light only illuminates an area within 15 feet. What? If you were truly at the tavern entrance, then the light from your spell wouldn't reach far enough to illuminate my client. Objection! That hardly makes a difference. We already established that the defendant would have been illuminated by Mageblade. If the light from Mageblade was adequate, then the witness wouldn't have had a reason to cast Conjure Light in the first place. Well, which is it then? Lord Pierce, did you illuminate the crime scene or not? Well, I can answer that question for you, Your Honor. No, Your Honor. In fact, it's one of the only truths he's told so far. Garrick Pierce did see the scene of the crime. He saw it because he was standing within 15 feet of it. Hold on for a moment. I merely made a mistake. I could have used any spell to illuminate farther than 10 feet. Then please enlighten me, Lord Pierce. Which spell did you use? The name escapes me. Now that I think about it, I'm not sure which spell I used. You idiot. Well, we can take a good luck for you when you relinquish your spell compendium to the court. This is a clear violation of my privacy. Why aren't you objecting to this, Steelwind? I see no reason to object to the defense's request. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. What? She's not objecting? What is she planning? If you listen to my instructions, you wouldn't be in this situation. You made your bed, now lie in it. Steelwind, you treacherous. That's enough. It appears that the prosecution has no objections. With everything that has occurred, I must ask that Lord Pierce relinquish his spell compendium to the court. That's a lot of spells, dude. That guy's lucky. The caster creates a simple and harmless visual effect on their hand. This effect will last as long as they maintain concentration. After the casting time is completed, water magically flows out of the caster's hand. The water will flow so long as the caster remains concentration on the spell. This might be just, what is it, red herrings to distract us. For the duration of the spell, the caster is able to produce or nullify winds within the target radius. The winds produced have enough intensity to knock someone off their feet. Anything caught within the range of this blast is hit with a blast of extremely cold air. Liquids hit will be immediately frozen. Organic life will immediately enter stages of hypothermia. For the duration of the spell, the caster can magically manipulate the targeted liquid and form it into complex shapes. At any time, the caster can choose to freeze the liquid while retaining its current shape. After the spell, the frozen liquid will immediately melt. Good job, Tyrion. We got his spell compendium. Stoic as always, isn't she? She didn't object to adding Pierce's spell compendium to the court record, and she seems pretty calm right now. What does she have up her sleeve? Wait, then how did he die? Well, you could have just picked this. I've reviewed the spells in Lord Pierce's compendium. I found that Conjure Light is the only spell that Lord Pierce can cast that would shed a blue light, which renders many of his statements false. Your Honor, Garrick Pierce could very well be a suspect in the murder of Flintheart McCoy. He's committed perjury and has admitted to being at the scene of the crime when the crime took place. The defense posits that this presents enough reasonable doubt to acquit Celeste McCoy. I do find Lord Pierce's involvement in this case quite suspect. However, I will not pass a verdict just yet. Ugh, I had a feeling this would happen. Wait, what? I thought that would be enough to prove that someone else could have done it. Isn't there enough reasonable doubt? For a normal case, maybe. The public won't accept an unsolved murder that was committed using magic. Someone has to be found guilty so that the justice system can save face. We have to prove that you definitely couldn't have committed the murder. Or we need to prove that someone else did it. What? But that's not fair. The system is corrupt to its core. That's the wrong core, but it's. This is just the world we live in. I know that fact better than anyone. Interesting. I will, however, move to suspend the trial of Celeste McCoy. We will resume once Lord Pierce is investigated as a possible suspect. Oh, is there really more to this? Oh no, okay. Objection. A possible suspect? Don't make me laugh, Your Honor. Damn it, what's she up to now? Let me remind the court of the basic facts of this case. Flintheart McCoy was murdered using a blade with a transmutation spell active on it. Defense lawyer, why don't you tell me the spells that Lord Pierce knows? Oh, his spells are Prestidigitation, Conjure Light, Conjure Water, Control Winds, Frost Wave, and Shape Liquid. So, you see it too? Lord Pierce does not know any spells that can be channeled through a blade. That can't be right. Wait. You're right. You're absolutely right, Lady Steelwind. No, I was so close. I see. So Lord Pierce doesn't know any spells that could have been used to commit the murder. Am I missing something? Actually, I'm confused. And that leaves the defendant as the only possible killer. That does change things. But he was the only other mage there. It has to be him. But he doesn't know any transmutation spells that can affect a solid object. We can't prove that he stabbed him using magic. Did he coat the blade with water, with the liquid, and then transmutate it so that it would... Oh no. Wait, then how did he do it then? She's right, how did he do it? None of his transmutation spells can affect a metal blade. Oh, I think he coated the blade. But that doesn't change the fact that he killed Flintheart using a transmutation spell. The defense did cast severe doubt on this witness's testimony. Nevertheless, I must conclude that he could have not possibly committed the murder. With that in mind, I must rule that... Objection! I need some water. Speaking of water... Please wait, Your Honor. We still can't conclude that Lord Pierce couldn't have committed the crime. Ha! What desperate nonsense is this? Lady Steelwind said it yourself, you commoner. I don't have any spells that can be channeled through a metal blade. But you didn't use a metal blade, did you? Oh, we figured. What are you saying? The autopsy clearly states the wound was created by a blade. If he didn't channel magic through a metal blade, then how could he have possibly committed the crime? Yes, your claim seems quite contradictory with the facts thus far, Mr. Cuthbert. Which spell could Lord Pierce have used to kill the victim? This is only, well, there's only one transmutation spell, right? Oh. It's either wind or shape liquid. Let me think about this. I don't know if it's true. Did he knock him off his feet? It's shape liquid. You see, Your Honor, Garrick Pierce didn't kill the victim using a blade. He killed him using an object shaped exactly like a blade. Because, so the reason I chose that is because there was, well, it's kind of cheating to do this, but there wasn't any incantation used in the prologue. Oh yeah, but turning the water into the blade makes a lot more sense than like shaping the water around the blade, I guess. What? I'm afraid I don't understand what you mean, Mr. Cuthbert. I'd like to remind the court of the spells in Lord Pierce's spell compendium. Garrick Pierce knows a particularly nifty spell called Shape Liquid. With it, he can control a quantity of liquid and form it into any shape he desires. Then, he can freeze that liquid, maintaining its current shape. A shape like a sword. No, it can't be. Is it possible that he... Admitted, Garrick Pierce. You created a makeshift sword using shape liquid and used it to impale Flintheart. Then you shoved Celeste's sword into the wound while the remnants of the real murder weapon evaporated. It was the perfect crime, wasn't it? How dare you? You are nothing but a filthy commoner. I don't care who you are. I won't let you get away with murdering my client's father. Steelwind, why aren't you saying anything? Wow, this is the first time I've seen her this flustered. Well, I'm not going to look this gift horse in the mouth. Well, what do you have to say for yourself, Pierce? What? Lord Pierce, please pull yourself together. My apologies, Your Honor. It's just that I realized something absolutely hilarious. Ugh, what is it now? You put forward an interesting theory, Mr. Cuthbert. But there's one problem with it. If he says something like it's just conjecture, And what's that? I think you said that yourself. You shoved the sword into the wound while the remnants of the real murder weapon evaporated. It was the perfect crime, wasn't it? You see, it wouldn't have been the perfect crime, because any evidence would have evaporated with that frozen blade. What? No. He's right. If you used an ice blade to kill Flintheart, it would have evaporated by now. And that means there would be nothing left of the murder weapon. You spun quite the tale here today, but in the end, you don't have a shred of evidence to support it, do you? You have nothing on me! No. Is there really nothing we can do? I'm sorry, Celeste. What? I failed you. It's okay. No. What? You were up against a noble, right? I don't think anyone could have done as well as you did today. It can't end like this. You're saying two different things. This is just the way things are, you know? But you gave me closure with my father. That's more than I could have ever asked for. There was so much I wanted to do. Please, someone. It's okay, Celeste. I can hear exactly what you're saying. Then, I won't let it end like this. What is this? You can glare at me all you want. It won't change the fact that you've lost. I won't ever let that happen again. Ugh, my head. That was close. I can't believe that lawyer almost found me out. What did you just say? What? I didn't say a thing. What's with this boy? He must be turning hysterical. I knew it. I can hear his thoughts. But how is that possible? No, never mind that. I have to focus. Nevertheless, I was too careless. I should have never used that bottle of water. Bottle of water? Right, he had to have gotten that water from somewhere. Wait, a bottle? Well then, as exciting as this had been, I must now take my leave. Objection! Not so fast, Pierce! What is it now, you wretch? I already told you that there's no possible way to prove your theory. It holds no water. You're right, Pierce. It doesn't hold any water. And that's exactly why I can prove it. Silence. Your Honor, the prosecution requests that we remove Mr. Cuthbert from the courtroom. He's clearly lost his mind. I agree. Wait, I swear I was going somewhere with this. He was trying to be too fancy with his words, you know? You see, if the Pierce used shape liquid on a bottle of water, the murder weapon would have evaporated entirely. There'd be no evidence. And where are you going with this? Well, what if we didn't use water? What if we accidentally used another type of liquid? What are you going on about? Pierce, shape liquid doesn't just work on water. It works on all kinds of liquid. So what if you use shape liquid on something that wouldn't evaporate entirely? What? Your Honor, I'd like to present the remains of what Garrick Pierce used shape liquid on. It's gonna be this. That's bottle. Pierce, I found this shattered bottle near where the body was. How do you suppose it broke? You must have decided to use any liquid you could find. Luckily for you, your victim was holding the perfect quantity of liquid. I wonder, Lord Pierce, if we had someone analyze the broken pieces of this bottle, would we find traces of transmutation magic? You little... That still proves nothing. So what if you find some traces of magic on some broken glass? You still don't have a murder weapon. I wasn't finished, Pierce. What? You see, the liquid contained in that bottle wasn't water. It was soda. So what? So dumb, or like, so what? How does that contents of that bottle change anything? A blade made of ice, made out of water would have evaporated entirely. But a blade made of ice made out of soda would leave a puddle of dried residue. No. I wondered why there was such a circular trace of magic under the body. If we check the outline of that trace, I'd bet we find a dry puddle of soda residue. That soda residue would still have traces of transmutation magic on it. That would definitively prove that you used shape liquid at the crime scene. There's your murder weapon, Pierce. Order! Order in the court! Orem, analyze the crime scene at once. We have to determine if this puddle of soda residue exists. The time window to find traces of magic is closing. Good on her for, like, getting on it, though. Right. That's it, right? We got him? So, our team found that soda puzzle residue. In fact, the puddle lines up exactly with the trace of transmutation magic. We also checked the broken bottle. There were traces of magic on that too. There's no doubt about it. Someone used magic on that soda. Nothing to say, Lord Pierce? This has to be some kind of joke, right? I'm afraid not, Pierce. What is this? What the hell is this? You will not treat me like some too-big criminal. Do you have any idea who I am? I am the heir of the Pierce noble house. I stand at the top of this kingdom's hierarchy. And you, defense lawyer? You're nothing but peasant trash. Who the hell do you think you are? You're right, Pierce. I am just a peasant. But you're just a murderer. And as long as I'm in this courtroom, I won't let anyone escape justice for their crimes. Guards, please escort Mr. Pierce to a holding cell. Yes. Guards, escort Lord Pierce at once. You know, I kind of don't like the voice I gave Judge now. Oops. But we did it. Nice. I can't believe we actually won. Tyrion, It's fine. You don't have to say anything. Your face says it all. I can't thank you enough for everything you've done. You've more than exceeded my expectations today. Miss Demora. I'll be honest. When I realized that the murder weapon evaporated, I thought the case was shot. I can't believe you were able to turn that around. I got lucky. If you used water, we would have been done for. You were able to deduce the liquid that he used just by looking at a few shards of broken glass. That has nothing to do with luck. Actually, about that, something strange happened during the trial today. Near the end, it's like I could hear his thoughts. That's how I found out he used the bottle of lotus juice. What? You read his mind? And are you a mage too? I don't think it was magic. I've never made a spell compendium after all. I didn't even perform any components. It just happened. Tyrion, you should keep this to yourself for now. Wait, why? Please, just trust me on this one. If you say so. You were all quite lively. Oh gosh, she does not like her. There's no need for such hostility, though I wouldn't expect any less from the Hound of the Eye Takers. Oh, the Hound of the what? But in any case, I came to apologize to you, Miss McCoy. What? What? The truth is, I was aware of Pierce's presence near the crime scene from the beginning. I acquired his spell compendium and looked through his spell list. I falsely concluded that he couldn't have committed the murder. I would have never imagined that he used a mundane spell like shape liquid to create a murder weapon. You can make all the excuses you want, but at the end of the day, you obscured the investigation and almost put away an innocent girl. No, you're right. I won't deny what I did. It's okay, really. You were just doing your job, right? I'm not mad at you anything. She's too precious for this game, bro. She does seem genuinely sorry, but I should know better than to trust the people in this rotten system. Just know that the next time we meet in the courtroom, I'll fight with everything I have. I'll acquit each and every one of my clients, no matter who stands in my way. Good. I look forward to doing battle with you again, Tyrion Cuthbert. She's not a bad person, I think. Our mentor is kind of sus. She doesn't seem like a terrible person either, but she is a little suspicious. What a strange woman. Well, that kind of killed the mood, didn't it? Not at all. I think we should celebrate. Oh, what did you have in mind? There's this amazing restaurant in the upper quarter of the capital city. They usually only serve nobles, but they let anyone in if they have enough gold. Wait, do we have enough gold? Of course we do. Don't worry, I'll handle everything. Wait, just how much does Smorgasbord make? Dude, is Tyrion not getting paid? Is he getting below minimum wage? Is there a minimum wage in this world? And so began my journey into the world of the law and the arcane. Our justice system is rotten to its core, and I'll have many trials ahead. Regardless, I'll keep fighting on and get justice for each and every one of my clients. And when I'm finally ready, I'm going to appeal my mother's case. Oh. Wow, so his mother was arrested because of the justice system, and that's why Tyrion is a lawyer, our defense attorney, I guess? But dang, that's crazy. But wow, honestly, that was pretty good. Like, I really enjoyed that. Like, the mystery in this one was not too hard, but that's obviously a demo. Like they said, there's heavy changes. Yeah, I think each of the characters so far is pretty interesting. Like, the prosecutor does seem like she isn't a terrible person. She's just, that's her, I guess, ideals and view of the world. The mentor has had some stuff, like, shown that is suspicious about her, but yeah. And then Celeste is precious, and that was really tragic what happened to her. And the main character, he has a lot of personality, and we still don't know his full story of his mother, and we don't know why he's like has telepathy and stuff like that. But yeah, so enjoyable. I really want to play this game once it fully comes out. Oh, ignore that, that was for something else. And yeah, so thank you for watching. You should definitely wishlist this game on Steam. I would love to see more of this. And yeah. Okay. Also, any constructive feedback on my voices would be appreciated. I know there were some inconsistencies between them. But yeah. Okay. That is all for real. Thank you for watching, and good night. Bye.